don't be afraid of the darkness. There's going to be some form of darkness ahead that you are going to go through. The Lord wants you to know that there is this darkness that will come. Even though He's been talking with you, He's been sharing with you, He's been showing you that you are going to your next. He's been sharing with you and showing you that He's taking you to a new. And that new is supposed to be bright and all. But just before that, there's going to be a brief moment of darkness, which you must not be afraid of, which you must not lose your momentum because of, you must not lose your pace because of. Now, let me explain better. It is said that just before dawn, is the darkest part of the night. The darkest part of the night is just before dawn. Of course, it's also before dusk. It's the dusk and dawn, but we're facing dawn this evening. Said the darkest part of the night is just before dawn. That means just before you enter brightness, it becomes so dark. And now what you are expecting is brightness. And because you are expecting brightness, that darkness that is going to come, that short period of darkness may want to unsettle you. Because you have been waiting so long for this night to be over. You have been waiting for so long, waiting on the Lord for this night to be over, for you to enter your new season. Now, when you see this darkness, which is going to be darker than what you have right now, you may want to be upset. It may want to destabilize you. The Lord will have you know that darkness is going to be a very short period. Just before dawn is the darkest part of the night. So He wants you to know that though you are looking into the new, you are looking so much to enter into the brightness of dawn, there's going to still be a little time of even darker period than this. But it's so short, so brief, that it's going to go away. And He's saying to you, do not be upset or don't be unsettled because of this coming period. Now, so why does it become so dark before you enter your new? You may be thinking, it is dark enough as it is. I mean, where you are right now, you are feeling so ready to enter the new because this is dark. This is the darkest it can be as far as you're concerned. How can it now still get darker? Thank you, Bukola Praise. You're wondering, how can it become darker before it will get bright? The Lord wants you to know there are reasons why God makes things when you're changing seasons. There's a reason God intentionally makes one period, the in-between, to now be like it becomes so bad just before you enter it. There are reasons. For instance, now imagine a Nollywood scenario. And then a man has been running all night from thieves, from robbers, from kidnappers, or whoever. They have been after his life. And he has been running in the bush, he has been running, and everywhere is dark. And because it's dark, he can barely see, but he's seeing. He's accustomed to the darkness now. He's seeing a little, so he's running and running. And then he has lost his watch, so he doesn't have a watch to even know what time it is. But he begins to sense that, yes, I've run for some hours and I'm about to enter day. But all of a sudden, rather than the dawn breaking, rather than him seeing more light, it suddenly becomes darker again, such that he can't even see the ground the way he was seeing the ground. He can't even see the next, can't see his environment the way he was seeing it only a few minutes ago. Now, if you were to be watching that film and you are to be watching that man, what will you say to the man? If you see him and he wants to get discouraged, they are chasing after him. They are still after him. In fact, they are nearer now. Will you advise him to sit down? Will you advise him to give up? Will you advise him, Because you and I know that it's just about the dawn is just about to break. And you see, they will not be able to chase him like that once the dawn has broken. Once the light shines, you understand, because men of evil, they do their evil in dark. You know that once the day breaks, that's it. And so your day is about to break. Your day is about to break. But that darkness that is about to show is going to be a very brief darkness. You must not allow you to in any way destabilize you. You must not allow you to take you off track. It's going to be so brief. The Lord wants you to know that it has a reason for coming. So as I said, one of the reasons that darkness comes just before the light, one of the reasons that it becomes so bad just before the next season is so that you can appreciate the next that you are going to. So that you will now have the greatest appreciation for when dawn comes. Now, mind you, another reason why God always makes sure that just before you enter the next season, the last part of this season seems so bad. The reason is because you see the next season has its own bugs. The next season has its own issues. Now, for you to greatly appreciate your next season, to appreciate the place you are going, to appreciate the beauty of that which you are going into, one of the things that the Lord does is to make you get tired of this season. And so the last part of the season, just before you enter that season, is always so bad. So don't in any way be discouraged when the bad that you say is bad right now becomes even a little worse. It is because it is always the darkest before it becomes bright. Before the dawn is the darkest part of the day. So there are reasons why it becomes so dark. Nature, God has made nature such that when you're about to break into your new, you will suffer a little darkness, even more than the darkness that has made you, that you have been getting tired of for so many years. You know, even that is going to be worse. Now, let me also use another illustration apart from darkness to explain what I'm saying to you. When a child is about to be born, we understand this very well. Especially if you've given birth to one, you know. Even if you've not given birth to one, maybe you read it in biology or something. Let me explain to you. When a child is about to be born, now, this is a baby that is put inside the womb. You see, the more it gets bigger in the womb, the more the womb should become uncomfortable for it. The baby is made for something, for life, for real life. And so, even though it's in that sack, it's in a warm place, the place is warm, and there's water there, fluid, the bigger it becomes, the more it's constrained. His body, you know, he can feel the stomach touching it and everything. Unlike when he was so small that he was just, you know, it was as if he was in a world of his own, able to swim. I mean, able to, you know, this time around, his body has filled the stomach. And so he can, even if you touch it from outside, you know, it goes like this. You touch it, you can actually touch it from outside. That's to tell you, he has actually outgrown that. He has outgrown the womb. It's time for him to come out. But, you see, it keeps adjusting to that stomach. Have you ever seen a child by itself burst out before from the stomach? No. It keeps adjusting, even though it's getting bigger and the place is a bit uncomfortable, but it's still comfortable in that warm water. And the fact that it's being fed from an umbilical cord, so he's comfortable to an extent, even though in he's uncomfortable, he's beginning to be, he's always adjusting and becoming comfortable in his uncomfortableness. So, when it is time to get out, even though this thing has been like, he's been constrained, and it will look like his body and everything is yearning for something more than where he was. Even though he may not understand it as a baby, but his body, his system has been yearning for something more than the womb. But as soon as it's time to go out, do you know that this baby will not come out? Will not make any attempt to come out, except the water breaks. Except the water breaks. There's also this mucus or something like that. There are certain things that have been holding him there. They have to give way. Now, when the water breaks, then the baby is now very, very uncomfortable. Now, imagine if where the baby was, you know, the angels had been sitting down with the baby, and I've been feeding him pictures in his mind, telling him, see, there's a glorious world out there. When you go out, you are going to actually be able to walk with these 2 feet. You say, eh? When you go out, you are actually going to be able to see, and you see far, you will see so many things, you think, eh? So he's been looking forward. Imagine that the angels have been telling him all these things, and he was looking forward to coming to the earth, to coming to this world. Only, you know, so he was thinking, oh, that means I am going to be more comfortable than I am inside here. And the angel has been telling, don't worry, when you go out there, you are going to be comfortable, you are going to run around, you are going to be everything. You understand? And all of a sudden, instead of becoming more comfortable, his water, the mother's water breaks, that water breaks, and as soon as the water breaks, the child becomes very uncomfortable. And then his head begins to engage. This is another trauma entirely. It's like, but I am supposed to enter into enjoyment. I am supposed to enter into another phase where I become better, I become freer. How come my head is going to pass through this narrow thing? What the Lord has been telling you all this while is that you are going to enter a beautiful new. What he has been showing you all this while is that he's calling you to come to a new, that, you know, where your limitations will be removed. You are coming to your promised land. He's drawing you near and saying, come to your promised land, where you can do, you have enough to do all that you want to do, and to save as many as the Lord has called you to save, to have money and all the resources you need to engage in all that you are called to. That's what the Lord has been showing you. That's what your heart has been longing for. That's what your spirit has been sensing. So you're already sensing your new has more freedom, your new has more resources, your new has the financial freedom for you. Everything that you need, that you are desired, is in the new that you are going. So you're expecting to be more comfortable. Then why all of a sudden are you now more uncomfortable than even before? The Lord wants you to know that that is the sign that you are about to enter into the new he has called you for. So if, for instance, you are living in a big house and all of a sudden, and God has been showing you that you are living in a bungalow, and God has been showing you that you are going to live in a skyscraper that belongs to you, so that's where you are going to do the work he has called you to do, and that from these 15 floors are going to be used for what he has called you to do, and all that. And all of a sudden, from being in a bungalow that you are living by yourself, you want to go and live in 1-bedroom apartment. Do not allow that to face you. Don't allow that in any way to discomfort you. Don't allow that to derail you. Don't allow that to even move you or remove one hair from your head. Relax, relax, because all that you are doing at this time, all that the Lord is putting you through at this time, is because you are going to engage, you are coming into another world entirely. You are about to come into another world entirely, a beautiful world of its own. The world that everything the Lord has promised you is waiting for you. So that uncomfortable period you are going to witness, that uncomfortable time that you are going to suffer, is going to be so insignificant. But when you see it, don't be discouraged. It is your passage into the new that the Lord has called you to. Okay? So, as I was saying, you have reasons for going through this darkness. The darkest part of the night is just before dawn. You are going to enter into something so beautiful. Look at it as when you are at the airport. You are going on a trip by air. Then the next thing, they call you, they check you in, and you are seated. And you are waiting. They are calling different people, and you have been seated. Now, if you are eager to get to where you're going, when you're seated, you are thinking in your mind, oh, they better call you. In fact, they should postpone. They should tell you that your flight has been delayed. You will not be happy at all. You're sitting down comfortably. I'm talking not about those in business class now, because in that case you are even sitting in VIP. But let's even talk about those who are sitting in the general this thing, and you're sitting down there and waiting, and then all of a sudden flight so, flight so, and then you stand up. See, now you're waiting to enter to fly. The next thing you want to do, okay, if you're flying for the first time, for instance, the moment you get up, they've checked you, and then you've been sitting there for a while, then they call your flight. The next thing you feel that you should just step into the plane and be flying. But no, then it may be then that you will now be on a queue. You will now be on a queue, and the queue is long, and they begin to check your passport one by one, and as they check, they tell you, okay, you can now go. And then if your plane is not even attached to, I don't know all the names, if the plane is not attached to the building, and then it's something that you have to come down and walk to the plane, and all that, just take it that is what you're about to go through. So that time that you have been sitting there all those while, and feeling like, God, I have waited for so long. I have waited for so long. I want to enter into the new that you have called me to. I want to get into what you have called me to. I can no longer sit down like this. Then you rise. They call you. But when they call you, you are going to go through some uncomfortable time. But it's going to be short. Because sitting down and enjoying yourself is not compared to standing up and being on the queue maybe for 5 minutes, and then coming down and trekking to the plane. And then when you get to the plane, then all of you, if it's all this Molue train planes, full ones, then you stay. When you get to the door, you are even still, then they are helping you to check, and they are saying, okay, go this way, go that way. Then when you are trying to enter the plane, everybody is putting their luggages and doing all that. All that will settle down, and you will sit down, and your plane will fly. And so the Lord wants you to know tonight that it's just going to be a little bit uncomfortable, more uncomfortable than it is right now, but you're about to fly. It is the fact that your plane has been called. It is the fact that your flight is about to take off, and you are going to fly. Definitely fly. You're going to enter into the new that the Lord has called you to. It's going to be a short period of uncomfortableness, but you are definitely about to fly. Don't lose steam. Don't lose courage. Don't in any way be derailed or distracted. Just stay on course. Your flight will take off. And the Lord that has called you and promised you all that he has promised you will never fail you. He will take you into the new that he has promised you. Just continue to stay in hope, stay in faith, and trust him. Thank you very much for being there. Don't be afraid of the darkness that you're going to see, because it is just telling you the dawn is about to break. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow, 8 p.m. Bye.